Hello and welcome to my channel and my series Photography from A to Z. One of the most famous landscape photographer, Ansel Adams, once said, "You don't take a picture, you make a picture." And in this video I'll talk about how to compose a picture. That means how you put a picture together so it'll be interesting to look at. And in this video I'll give you 7 tips, 7 guidelines that you can use in your photography so you can make better pictures, more interesting pictures, and pictures that people will like. And I will show you some examples of how you can use these guidelines or tips. And lastly, I'll talk about the 4 most important composition rules that I think every photographer should know about. And these are the 7 guidelines I'll talk about. Camera position. People often tend to take pictures from eye height, but if you change your position, perhaps take pictures in a lower angle, you'll get more dynamic. You can also take pictures from a higher angle, and you'll be able to make pictures that are more interesting and perhaps using the foreground, like in this picture, where the man is reflecting in the water. And you can also make more dramatic pictures in that way. Adding a foreground. Adding a foreground creates more depth in your photos. So look for things that you can use as a foreground in your pictures. You can focus on the foreground or use it as a contrast to the subject you want to take a picture of. The foreground enhances the perspective and can make more interesting photos and perhaps help telling a story. Framing. Framing your subject makes it stand out and can create almost a 3-dimensional effect in your pictures. Framing can be used as a way to add layers to your pictures and underline the atmosphere you want to show. Framing can isolate your subject from the rest of the environment and give your picture more depth. You can use all kinds of subjects for framing, even the trees in the forest. Multiple distances. In videography, you often use different kind of distance to your subject. That way, you make a story and the viewer will find it more interesting to watch. And you can do the same in your photography. Take pictures from different distances, one from the far away, one a little bit closer, and lastly but not least, make some close-up pictures from your subject. When a viewer looks at a picture, they often get curious, and showing selected part of your picture will give them a better understanding of what you're trying to tell. Pictures often have a story to tell, and the story can be hidden in the detail. And this technique is a great way if you want to create a picture series that tells a story from a certain location or an environment. Details. And as I said, the story can be in the details. So go hunt for details. You will often find interesting patterns and things that you didn't notice at your first sight. Slowing down and looking for the details within a scene will lead you to a beautiful image that other doesn't see. Details can emphasize a certain atmosphere you want to show, and again, underline the story you want to tell. Negative space. Negative space means that large parts of your picture doesn't have any content, but it can add to your picture some character and perhaps some mystic, and your viewer will be attracted to the main subject that will stand out, and no one will question what your main subject is. Negative space may be most evident when the space around the subject, not the subject itself, forms an interesting and artistic relevant shape. Storytelling. Storytelling in a picture is one of the most difficult things to obtain, but for me it's also one of the most important pictures to make. Finding people with character or people that are showing a certain feeling is not easy, but hunting these motives is also the most rewarding thing you can do, and when it happens, it feels great. There doesn't have to be people in your pictures to create a story. Look for subjects that wants to tell their story. And now I'll talk about the four most important, for me, composition rules that I think every photographer should know about. The S-curve. The S-curve guides your viewer into the picture and often to the main subject. The S-curve gives your picture a calm and friendly appearance and are often used in landscape photography. The L-shape. The L-shape gives your pictures stability, and the combination of the vertical and horizontal perspective can create harmony and a dynamic feeling. The L-shape will make the viewer's eyes go on a discovery in your picture. Leading lines. Leading lines is one of the most used composition in photography. This composition will allow you to guide your viewer's eyes into the picture, and you should pay attention to these leading lines and how you place them in your picture. And this composition can be used both in landscape and in street photography. The golden cut. In English it's called the rule of thirds, in Danish det gyldne snit, translated to the golden cut, and this is how I will use it in my video. This is the first basic rule for a well-balanced picture. The idea is to break down a picture into thirds, both horizontally and vertically. Once you've done so, simply place the main elements on your composition on the lines that divide the sections or the points where these lines meet. We have a natural tendency to want to place the main subject in the middle. Placing it off-center using the golden cut will more often than not lead to a more attractive position, because that's where your eyes naturally go when looking at an image. When following this rule, some composition may feel unbalanced, as the main subject puts more of the visual weight on a specific side. To avoid this, you can include a second element of lesser importance to fill this empty space. The main reason for observing the golden cut is to discourage placement of the subject at the center or prevent a horizon from appearing to divide the picture in half. And you can of course combine several of these compositions and elements in one picture. Can you see which ones I have used in this? And feel free to write in my comment section. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching my video and for following me on my series, Photography from A to Z. I hope you find this little video interesting, and I hope to see you again on my next one. Bye bye.